Hey guys, so today to celebrate May the 4th, I decided to do a very special R2D2 blinged out tumbler. So I'm not going to waste any of your time and I'm going to show you exactly how I did this. So I began by filing down the whole entire cup because I do need those scratches to make sure all those rhinestones are going to stay on this cup and they're not going to go anywhere. So like I said, file down the whole cup. I did use a nail buffer. You can also use regular sandpaper if you like, and once you are completely done, go ahead and get some rubbing alcohol and take off all that dust. So now moving on, I am going to spray paint this cup because R2D2 is a white droid. So I need this whole tumbler to be completely white. I am going to put some tape on it to make sure it does not get spray painted where I don't need it to be. The lid is actually going to be left alone because if you've seen R2D2, his head is just chrome and then the body is white. So I am only doing the tumbler part. So right there, I'm going to make sure I get full coverage with the tape, making sure I do not have any exposure to the areas where I do not want it to be painted. Make sure you are very careful placing on the tape like you see me doing here. Full coverage. And also on the bottom. So a little quick tip right here. Go ahead and place your tape on it. Cut it around with some scissors and then you can actually file it down with the sandpaper if you like to make sure it has a nice round cut to the edges. And when you spray paint it, you're going to have a nice defined line. So for the spray paint part, I did do 4 total coats of the Rust-Oleum matte paint and primer in one white, the farmhouse white. And I did let each coat completely dry before doing the next. And at the end, I did go in with the Mod Podge matte clear acrylic sealer. So after those coats of spray paint, I did let my cup sit for over 24 hours because I wanted it to completely seal into the tumbler. And I removed the whole tape. Look at that nice defined line I got. You can see how nice it came out right there. Beautiful. And I removed the bottom tape also. And you're going to see the nice lines I also got when I did file down those edges. Look at that. And if you do have, that little sticky stuff that you see right there from the price tag when you buy it from the store, you can easily remove all that stuff with some rubbing alcohol also. It'll come right off. So this is how it looks so far. And now I'm going to start drawing on the R2D2 features. So if you have watched my videos before, you do know I like to use my handy dandy pencil to draw out sketches on my items. And that is exactly what I'm doing here. Yes, you can use vinyl if you would like. That is completely up to you. But in this case, I am doing it by hand to show you that yes, you can do it this way and it can come out beautiful. So I'm going to start off with the lid, drawing out all those face features that R2D2 has. And since I am using a pencil, if I do mess up on something or I don't like how it looks, I can always go in with the eraser and erase and do it over. So this is how the lid is looking so far. You can see all those features on the head part of the R2D2 cup. So now I'm going to start sketching out R2D2's body on the actual cup. So this is my reference picture that I'm going to be using to sketch out the whole body on the front side of the cup. I did make a little sticky note ruler so I can get those nice defined lines for the cup because since R2D2 is a droid, he does have a lot of detail and I do want it to look very uniformed and straight, So I don't know if you guys can tell, but this tumbler is a little thinner going up from the bottom. So it was a bit tricky to do the lines straight, and make sure everything's nice and even. So just a little quick tip. If you guys do ever want to try this, I suggest you guys get a tumbler that is very straight all the way up, and that might be easier for you guys to draw on your lines or work with your vinyl. So this is how the sketch is looking so far, and I'm just continuing drawing on all those features around the cup. So obviously the tumbler only has enough space for so much detail, so I did leave some features out, but I mean the main ones are there that you can tell it's R2D2, you know what I mean? So half of it was the front of R2D2. I did not add any of those leg features, and then the rest, the other half, was the back part of R2D2. So that's what you guys see me doing here. I'm using my little made up ruler from a sticky note, and then adding all those nice straight lines, double checking, erasing, fixing, adding those minor details so I can move on to the next step, which would be going in with the actual color. So now that I am done sketching out the front side, I can go on moving on to the back side and sketching out the back side of R2D2. So same thing, I'm using my little sticky note ruler that goes nice and perfectly around the tumbler to draw out those lines. And I did post that reference picture for the back side also, if you guys saw it. Always double checking my work, making sure those lines are as straight as they can be and everything looks good. Erase if I have to, and move on. So right here you guys can see me go in with the pencil and drawing out those last minor details to the cup, making sure everything looks good, looking back at my reference pictures, that everything looks just like it needs to be, double checking everything, fixing anything that needs to be fixed. I will have another chance to fix any lines that I do not like once I go in with the Sharpies. But once I start going in with the Sharpies, that's going to be it, guys. That's exactly how it's going to look on the cup. So do make sure everything looks just how you want it to look. Double check your work. Always, guys, for whatever project you're doing, always double check your work. So I am completely done sketching out on the cup. Look at all this detail. The cup is looking so good so far. I got my Sharpies ready to go to draw over all those sketch lines. So I am going to begin by coloring in the lid first, going in with the blue Sharpie, coloring all those areas that need to be blue, making sure my lines stay nice and straight for the lid. Since I did not go in with the spray paint, if I do mess up with the Sharpies, I can always go in with some acetone and a little Q-tip and wipe off any lines that I do not like of the Sharpie. So right there, you guys see me be very careful following those guidelines. That's why I did my sketches, so I know exactly what to color in. So I went on ahead and finished the whole lid, coloring it in with the Sharpies, and now I am doing the rest of the cup. So I am using a sticky note once again just to make sure I can follow those little sketches on the cup and get those nice defined lines once again. Super easy, guys. It's basically just tracing, okay? Super easy. So I'm going in with the blue Sharpie, making sure everything looks good. Like I said, this is my last chance to double check anything, fix anything I do not like. Double check your work, guys. I can't stress it enough. Double check your work. So now that I am done going over the major lines, I can focus on the minor parts of the tumbler, making sure everything looks good, coloring in all those areas that do need to be colored because most of R2D2 is white. So I am going to be blinging out most of it white, but there are those few areas that do have color. So that is what you guys see me doing now. So the cup is coming together. I am done coloring it in. This is how it looks so far. And now I have my Bob Smith 30-minute cure epoxy that I'm going to be using to add those rhinestones. So I am mixing it all up just a little bit at a time because I am going to be working by sections. Like I said, this is a 30-minute cure epoxy. So I only have 30 minutes to work with. I want to make sure it gives me enough time to make sure those rhinestones are exactly where I want them to be. So I'm going to go all around making sure my lines are nice and round all the way around the area. So for the whole entire cup, I did use metallic rhinestones. I used these navy blue color rhinestones. I used white rhinestones. I used a few red and black color rhinestones also, and some AB blue rhinestones. It was not that many colors. It's just, like 3-4 colors in total. But trust me, this cup is gonna look beautiful. So, like always, double check your work, guys. Right here I am working on my second section of epoxy. Like I said, work by sections. Do not go ahead and place epoxy all over the whole cup because it's gonna dry up. Work by sections. I always tell you guys this. Very important. Double check your work. This is how the lid is looking so far. Once again, I am doing another section of epoxy, and I'm gonna do the same thing. Just go ahead and add those rhinestones to the color they need to be. Blue areas, obviously you're gonna have blue rhinestones, and so on and so forth. So right here you guys can see I am finishing up the whole lid. It's looking super cute. You can already tell what this is. Obviously R2D2. All these rhinestones give it so much detail, and trust me, look at this. It's super cute. The hard work is paying off. So now I am working on the actual tumbler, going in once again with the epoxy and adding those rhinestones to the colors on the cup. So as you guys can see, this is super simple to do. Now that you know the drawings and the colors are on the cup, all I have to do is match the rhinestone to the color on the cup. I mean, super simple, guys. As you guys can see, I'm going in with the white rhinestones now. For sizes, I did use from SS20 all the way to SS4 in the different varieties of colors, but that was the size range for all of them. You guys will see me doing a little bit of each section just so you guys can see and get the idea of what to do when, placement of rhinestones, filling in the gaps, making sure that your lines are nice and defined. With the epoxy, the rhinestones can run a little bit, so that's why I tell you guys double check your work. Don't let them slip off, where they're supposed to be. Always align them nice and straight. Right there, you guys can see I am going in with those tiny little metallic rhinestones to give it that beautiful defined line look. It's gonna look so cute. Watch. So right here, I am working on the back part of the cup, going in doing the same exact thing, going in with the white rhinestones over the white areas, and so on and so forth. So like I had mentioned to you guys, a lot of the area is going to be white. So it's the same thing going over all those white areas. As you guys see me right here, I do like to use a ruler to help those rhinestones stay in nice straight lines, just pushing them to where they need to be. If you guys want to use that, go ahead. Use the little edge part of the ruler and push them slowly to their place. So look at this. It's looking super beautiful so far. I'm going to go ahead and finish off all those white areas the same way that you guys have been seeing me do so far. So I am just about done finishing up the cup. I am working on the smaller details now towards the bottom of the cup, adding those tiny little rhinestones to give it that nice detail. Right here, I'm using the metallic ones. I'm gonna go in with some AB blue rhinestones for the inner part of the circle, just to give it that, depth look, since the outer part of the circle is blue. So it's gonna give it more of a 3D look, you know what I mean? So those little details do matter, and it makes everything look more detailed. So I'm finishing up those tiny details. I'm filling in all the gaps, double checking my work, making sure all those lines are nice and straight. Like I said, you guys can use a ruler to push all those rhinestones to a nice straight line. I would suggest waiting until the epoxy starts getting a little bit more firm so they are not moving around as much. So I am just about done with the whole cup. Now I am doing the last section, which is the bottom. I'm gonna go in with the SS16 all the way around, doing one line at a time to start off, all the way around, making sure they are nice and straight and closely together, but obviously not overlapping. Now I am going on to the second line, same thing all the way around, and finishing off with the third and fourth line if you feel comfortable doing them all together, making sure everything is nice and straight, and I am done. So, like I said, I am doing this cup in honor of May the 4th. If you guys are huge Disney fans like me, you know exactly what that is. Star Wars stuff, you know. So, I am getting my gear ready for Star Wars Day. We go to Disneyland every single year for May the 4th. And I was like, let me do this for that day. So, look at these results, guys. Oh my god, I am speechless. I love this cup. I hope you guys do too. I hope you guys learned a little something. And you know what? Go for it. This is a huge project. It took me literally like a week. But I mean, look at this. Completely worth it. And completely made by hand. So like always, thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And maybe even at Disneyland.